Hello everyone. I hope everyone's doing great. We're going to jump right into it. Today we are going to be continuing our writing process. So I don't know if anyone remembers what we're going to be doing or what we are writing about, but I want you right now to take out a piece of paper and write down what text or topic you will be writing about. So take a moment to do that. That's correct. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to be writing an informational text. And so that is, we've worked with informational text before, so you know that that is a story, a text that includes facts about a specific plant, animal, or anything that contains facts and gives you information about a specific topic. All right. Now I want you to write down what have we done so far as it pertains to this lesson. So what have we written so far? So write that down or take out whatever it is that we've worked with before. Give you a moment to do that. So that is correct. We have been working with our text. So everybody has a text that they've been working on, and it just really depends on what I have given you. So we know we have taken out our 3 key ideas. So one big idea that we've focused on in our text, and 3 small ideas that our text is going to be about. All right. So today we are going to actually begin our writing process. Today, we're going to be looking at a text, and but right now, before we begin, I want you to think about what comes first in a text, or in an informational text, or any text for that matter. So I want you to think about that. Awesome. So sentences come first, right? So we're going to be looking at that. We're also going to see what it is called, that first sentence, what's called. I know it's so easy to say, oh, it's the first sentence, but we're also going to be looking at the last sentence and what that is called and what the components of those are. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about opening and closing sentences and how they make your text, how they bring everything together regarding your topic. So I have our statement of objective here today, and we know what we're going to do with that. We're going to say it together, and I want you to say it loud and proud, so it can be ingrained in your brain, and so you can really think about it throughout the day, throughout this lesson. That way you understand what is going on. Okay, so it says, I can write an opening and a closing sentence. I want you to repeat that to yourself. If you can't see it, it is also in Canvas. So it says, once again, I can write an opening and a closing sentence. Awesome. All right. So today we are going to be looking at an informative piece. We're going to specifically be looking at the beginning and opening sentences. No, the beginning sentences, so the opening sentences and sentence and the closing sentence. So we're going to be looking at those specifically. We will we'll read the informative text and look at the topic, but that's just to gain some knowledge about it so we understand if the closing sentence is a strong one. So we're going to first, before we begin any of that, we're going to be looking at our anchor chart over here. And I want to show you the components of a strong opening sentence and of a strong closing sentence. So first, I want you to think about it. Think about what might an opening sentence have. Like, what might it start off with? What might it end with? What information does it have to contain in order to be a good one? So take a moment to think about that. All right. So, an opening sentence is the first sentence in a text. And we already knew that because we had talked about it at the beginning of this video. And an important part about this is that it gives general information about the topic. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about what a topic is. What is the topic of the text? Like, what is that word? What is the definition of that word in your own words? And in that paper that you have in front of you, I want you to write it out. That way you have it for reference. I'll give you a moment to think about that. All right, so a topic is what the text is about. What the text contains, like the important information that it has, that is what the topic is, what the entire text revolves around. So that is what a topic is. Now, here's another important thing about an opening sentence, or it's also called a topic sentence. So it has to grab the reader's attention. It has to have a hook, something that hooks in that reader and that reels it in. That way they want to read the rest of the text, and that way they are intrigued to read it some more. So there is a hook, and here's an example. So I want you to think about an opening sentence as an open door, as a door opening. You're opening a door to the text you're about to read, so it has to be interesting, fun, and encouraging so that they want to go through that door and read that text. So it introduces, it's fun, and it's interesting. It's opening a door to new ideas and new information. So that is what an opening sentence, that's what the components of an opening sentence is. So now let's look at a closing sentence or a conclusion sentence. What do you think a conclusion sentence might have? So we know it is the last sentence in a text. So it comes at the very end of your text or your writing. It contains all of the important facts, not all of the important facts, but it summarizes the facts that you have put in your text. It gives everybody the information that you contained in your topic sentence. So you started off your topic sentence with including something interesting. So you can end that, but that doesn't mean make the exact same sentence from the beginning. You have to conclude it, which means it's summarizing your topic, including information that is in the text. So those are the important components of a closing sentence. All right, so, and this is an example. So just like over here, we said it was opening a door. This is closing a door. And closing a door is like saying goodbye, right? So you're closing your topic in your text. You're saying goodbye to your readers, to your audience. You're giving information and you're concluding the topic. But I want you to give information that is facts. So you're not persuading your reader to think a certain way. You're just giving them facts about the topic that you have chosen. So that is what the components of an opening and closing sentence is. So I just want you to, if you didn't have time to look at it, or, you can always go back, look at it, and that way you have it for reference. Now, we are going to look at the text that we will be, so we will be looking at the text that I have chosen, which is not the text that you have. It is my personal text. You will not be using this. I will be using it to show you how to find a proper closing and opening sentence and show you the components of it and how it relates to our anchor chart that we just went over. All right. So let's look at it over here. Okay. So, I'm going to read the first sentence, which is our topic sentence right here. It says, "The little penguin, the smallest in the world, stands only 30 centimeters, parentheses, 12 inches, closing parentheses, tall." So, we can see here, over here, how it gave us information. It gave us information about the text. So we know it's the first sentence of the text, so we saw that. And it gives us a general information about our topic. What is our topic? What is this text going to be talking about? So we know it's penguins, right? So we're going to be learning about what penguins, what they do, what they are, and everything like that. So it gives us a general information about them. So just a brief information, but something we can find interesting as well. So what is the hook? What is the hook that author used in there? I want you to think about that for a second. Let's look back at the text so you can see. What is the hook that they used? Correct. It is that the penguin is only 30 centimeters or 12 inches tall. So that is something interesting about the penguin that the author included in there. All right, now we are going to read this text just so we have a general information about what it is. That way we know that this ending sentence right here, is it strong or is it not? But we need to know the information from the text before we're able to make sure that concluding sentence is strong. All right, so we read the first one. It says, "It lives all across New Zealand and southern Australia. It is sometimes called the little blue penguin or the fairy penguin. During breeding season, little penguins live in burrows dug in sand. Once they lay eggs, they get ready for them to hatch. After the eggs hatch, adults fish during the day and return to their burrows at dusk to feed the babies. The chicks are ready to leave the nest when they are about 8 weeks old. For years, little penguins raised families on Middle Island, close to the city of Warrnambool, Australia. Then, in the 1990s, foxes began to appear on the island. During the summer, the tide is very low. Foxes can walk to the island from the mainland. As the number of foxes grew, they began to eat the little penguins. By 2005, the penguin population on Middle Island was nearly wiped out by fox attacks. That year, only 4 penguins were spotted," says Christy King. So the penguins might become extinct. So it provides us with that information. Our closing sentence does. So it does. It doesn't necessarily restate the topic sentence, but we can see how it gave us that information that we needed. So now that we've seen that and gone over how a strong topic sentence and concluding sentence might look like and where we can find them in the text, now I'm going to show you how to make one. So I want you to write down, how might you start a sentence? So just any sentence, how might you start something to let the reader know what's going on? So just think about that for a second, then we're going to go over the components. All right, so let's start off by looking at what a topic sentence starter might contain. So this is the topic sentence. So here are, I have put a few sentence starters so that you can pick from here or make up your own. There are no rules. Well, there are rules, but you can most certainly make up your own. Okay, so blank is or are interesting because. So here we would put, if we are using, let's say, we're using a book about dogs. We can say dogs are interesting because, excuse me, because, and then we just we can put our hook, and our general information after our sentence starter. Or we can do, let me tell you about, and then, what your information. It was amazing to read about, and then your information. It was interesting to learn about, and then just keep going with that information that you're going to provide. I want you to remember to make it fun. Make it an interesting sentence so that your reader will want to read your topic. And don't forget that hook, which will make it fun. Alright, now let's look at our closing sentence starters. So, okay, closing sentence. I learned, and then that's what you learned from reading and what they should have learned from reading your text. To end with, we're closing that door, ending with it, saying goodbye. As you can see, this happened, or, because of this happened to the penguins. For these reasons, and then your information, your important facts that your closing sentence has to have. All right. I want you to not forget to close that door and sum up the information, those facts that need to be summed up. All right. So now we are going to be talking about making one. So I want you guys to think about how a sentence might be made. So let's start off with that first sentence. Okay. So, what might I use for my topic? So, my text about penguins. What might I use to make that? Sit down and think for a little bit. All right, awesome. So I could use one of these sentence starters for my topic sentence. It could be either one of these. I picked the first one, which is blank is interesting because, and here it is. So I put penguins are interesting because, and then what might be an interesting fact that I could put on there. So an interesting fact about a penguin, or not about a penguin, but about information that we saw from the text. What could I put there? All right, so I put they live in burrows that they dig. Oh, that they dig. And we can see that is said in our text right here. During breeding season, little penguins live in burrows dug in sand. So we know that they dug those little burrows. So that is our first sentence, our opening topic sentence. Here, I'm going to show it to you together. So penguins are interesting because they live in burrows that they dig. That's our first sentence. All right, now let's go to our concluding one. What sentence starter could I use for my concluding sentence? One of these, or one that you might make up. All right, so I chose the last one. It says, for these reasons. So here it is. For these reasons. And then a concluding statement that brings everything together that we learned about. The penguin population is disappearing. So, for these reasons, which, as we can see, the reasons are that the number of foxes, the fox population in the Middle Islands, has increased. So for these reasons, the penguin population almost disappeared. Or the penguin population is disappearing. That is our sentence together. Right here. So you can see it together and how it connects. So our sentence starter, and then our information that summarizes the important facts or that important information that we had to grasp from our text. All right, now I'm going to show you what you are going to be doing for your independent practice, for your final lesson. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making your own closing and opening sentences. So about your topic, the one that you've chosen, you're going to take those maps that we have done previously in class. You're going to take that information that you've gathered from your book, those facts and everything that those 3 key ideas that you've gotten from your topic. You're going to get all of that and you're going to make your own opening and closing sentences. So right here is where you're going to restate those 3 key ideas, those 3 key facts that you need to know for your topic, for your text. And right here is where you will write your opening sentence, and down here is where you will write your closing sentence. So this will be posted on Canvas, and you will be doing it and turning it in. All right, so everybody did an awesome job today. I can't wait to see your opening and closing sentences and how awesome you're going to do in them. Now, I want you to, while you're working, I want you to think how you're going to hook your audience, your readers, how you're going to make it interesting. So I want you to think about that, how you're going to summarize that and make it interesting. So I want you to think about when you're reading, what catches your attention, and use that to make your own closing and opening sentences. I can't wait to see everyone's work. Thank you.